Hello, and welcome back to Underdog Investing. So today I'd like to talk about LMND Insurance. Firstly, going through CLEARSURANCE customer reviews for LMND and how we destroyed competitors' customer reviews. And then I'd like to talk about the stock price and what I'm planning to do with it. Now, before I jump into the video, I'll be grateful if you can smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for future updates. So starting with this tweet from Shy Winninger on February the 10th. So LMND ranked number 1 in terms of homeowners and renters insurance in America by CLEARSURANCE. So first of all, what is CLEARSURANCE? So CLEARSURANCE is a website that provides an independent source for customers to share insurance experiences and learn from others to make informed and insightful decisions. So if we have a look at their website, you can see that this is the 2021 Customer's Choice for Insurance Companies at CLEARSURANCE reviews. So if we have a look at this table here, you can see that LMND Insurance Company came number 1 in terms of homeowners and renters insurance. So USAA came number 1 in terms of car insurance, but that's only because LMND Insurance aren't in car insurance at the moment. But I'm sure when they do enter the car insurance industry, I'm sure they'll take number 1 spot. So let's scroll down here. Going to the homeowners insurance section, you can see that their overall customer rating is 4.77, which destroys the other companies. Like second place is 4.51 by USAA, and you can see that 10th place is Progressive Insurance, which scores 4.07. And how did they come up with this score? So they take 3 criteria into account. First of all, price rating. Second, customer experience rating, and third, likelihood to recommend. So they scored 4.79 in terms of price rating, 4.8 in terms of customer experience rating, and 4.7 in terms of likelihood to recommend. So what's interesting is that all 3 of these categories, they came number 1 compared to the other insurance companies. What's quite interesting is that I divide it into price rating, which shows that we've got a cheaper price for LMND Insurance, but at the same time, in terms of customer experience and likelihood to recommend, these demonstrate that we've got a superior product. So only in a company which is using disruptive innovation can we have a superior product for a cheaper price. So that's quite interesting. Now, if we move on to the renters insurance section, you can see that again LMND are number 1. This time the overall rating is even higher at 4.81, with a price rating of 4.86, customer experience rating of 4.81, and likelihood to recommend at 4.73, again destroying their competitors in all categories. What's interesting is if we have a look at Allstate, you can see that they ranked 10th. And if we have a look at the actual company, we can see that they have been around for about almost 100 years, and they are an American insurance company. And their market capitalization is $32 billion. Now, if we compare that to LMND, who have been around for about 5 years, their market cap is only $7.7 billion. But what's interesting is that LMND are internationally operating and expanding quickly, and they have a superior product for a cheaper price. So it's only inevitable that LMND will reach Allstate's actual market cap of 30 billion and actually overtake it and go much further, because of the fact that they are using disruptive innovation and they are expanding into internationally. Okay, so I just wanted to get that point across, but if we move on to some of the actual customer reviews on CLEARSURANCE, you can see that, let's take this one for example. So this was on August 7th, 2020. So 100% satisfied customer of LMND here. I was a little skeptical about LMND and how they do things at first. However, we moved forward and got the policy through them. A couple months after moving to our new home, we had a theft take place where a few $1,000s worth of tools were taken. We provided police report and proof of ownership and almost instantly received email with claim approval and payout disbursement confirmation. Could not be happier with the services and rates as well. Okay, so there's a few things to unpack here. The first one was that they were a little skeptical about Lemonade initially, and that's very normal, especially in an industry like insurance, where generally customers don't like insurance companies, and especially a company that's quite new as well, and it's actually called Lemonade and it's pink. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they're skeptical. But you can see that they've had an amazing customer experience, and they were delighted with the almost instant claim approval and payout disbursement. So only Lemonade can do something like this, I think, because if we compare Lemonade with old insurance companies, there's a conflict of interest where these old insurance companies are going to try their best to deny claims. And the reason for this is that if they deny the claim, they end up richer, these old insurance companies. And what that results in is, first of all, the main thing is that customers aren't going to be happy. And in terms of Lemonade Insurance, because their business structure and model is so different, what happens is they take a flat fee. So the fact, if they deny a claim, there's no incentive in denying claims. Lemonade don't financially benefit from denying a customer's claims. So what actually happens is you end up paying the claim for the customer, and the customer ends up being very happy and delighted with the service. And what actually happens after that is the customer goes on to speak to their family, friends and colleagues and talk about how amazing Lemonade are. And what happens is this is basically the most powerful advertisement tool, which is word of mouth. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why Lemonade are growing so quickly, is because they genuinely have a superior product. It's not just about their branding and their name Lemonade, the color pink. So that was actually what ARK Invest said previously, was that all they are is a brand and they don't actually have a superior product. But looking at these customer reviews, you can see that they do have a superior product, and it's really showing. So I have a feeling that one day ARK Invest will decide to invest in Lemonade. Yeah, so that's just my view. Anyway, so that is their review. There's plenty of other reviews. Feel free to have a look on ClearSurance. I'll leave a link in the description below. Moving on to their earnings call coming up. So basically they are doing something quite interesting. So this is on the 2nd of March. And on their Q&A, they will answer loads of questions. And the way they pick the questions is, so they've got a system here online actually called saytechnologies.com, where any shareholder can actually submit questions, I think. And what happens is we get to decide and upvote the questions that we like. And I think the ones with the most upvotes, they're going to answer. So I just thought I'll go through some of them. So the first one is from Neil, who I think is from Couch Investor actually. He's got 1.4 thousand shares. That's quite a lot of shares. And he's got 152 upvotes on this question. So what are your growth plans for Europe? And I think that's a very sensible and good question to ask, especially because they're quite established in the USA. So they've also been aggressively expanding into Europe recently. So it'd be good to know what their plans are, because there's still plenty more room to grow in terms of the European market. And then you've got Jesma, who's asking, what will the next policy you are looking to add? Sorry, what will be the next policy you're looking to add? Travel, car, life insurance. Well, so they've actually been rolling out term life insurance. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's life insurance that will be rolling out next. And then you've got Arias, who has 600 shares, 76 votes. Lemonade has already shown the capability to expand into Europe, which is quite remarkable for an insurance agency. Do you foresee an opportunity, the possibility of further expansion into Asia Pacific region, much further down, or is that out of reach? So this is actually a really exciting question that I'd love to see them tackle this question actually, because when I think about it, obviously Asia have their own dominant players in terms of insurance, and generally we don't really cross borders. But I mean, if anyone outside of Asia was to tackle the Asian market in terms of insurance, it would be Lemonade, wouldn't it? I mean, if we take France, for example, they managed to launch Lemonade Insurance in France without having a single employee physically in France. So I'd imagine that they would be the company that is best equipped to actually move into the Asian market. But yeah, I'd love to see how they tackle that question. I'm sure there's a lot of exciting things to say about that. And then this one's quite exciting from Emil. So what is your opinion about Bitcoin and crypto? Do you plan to invest in it? So the reason why it's interesting is because firstly, all their customers and as well as their investors, a lot of them are millennials. And the thing is, millennials are quite into cryptocurrencies. So I'd be interesting to see what they talk about in terms of whether or not they, firstly, whether they will invest in something like Bitcoin using their cash reserves, because you've got companies like Tesla, who's basically like one of the most valuable companies in the world, and they've actually invested in Bitcoin themselves. So I would love to see how they answer that. And the other thing is whether or not they will accept cryptocurrencies as a transaction or payment method. So that would be quite interesting as well. So you've got loads of really good questions, like are there plans for expanding to the UK? That's something that I do want to know, because I'd love to use Lemonade Insurance, but they're just not in the UK at the moment. So yeah, I'd love to have that answered. Anyway, moving on to the stock price. So today is Tuesday the 23rd of February, and we've closed at $129. So that is about 6% down, but today's been a very rough day, and you can see that we hit a low of $113 at the start of trading. And that wasn't anything to do with Lemonade. There was a massive tech sell-off, so loads of companies were selling off, and you can see we had a nice rebound of about almost 15% since the lows of the start of the trading day. And the main reason for that was because of the chair of the Federal Reserve, so Jerome Powell. He had a speech today where he announced that interest rates are likely to stay low for the foreseeable future, and he's likely to continue with monetary stimulus because he feels like there's still plenty of room for improvement due to the unemployment rates, which are still quite bad in the US. So as you can see, the pattern of the chart follows similarly to the S&P 500, the initial sell-off, and then after the good news from the Federal Reserve, we had a nice rebound. So yeah, I personally see this as a good buying opportunity, because anytime you've got a sell-off in a stock where the fundamentals remain the same, that's always a good buying opportunity. Personally, that's how I see it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what's happened with the stock price though, and as well as the CLEARSURANCE customer ratings. What do you think? Have any of you actually used Lemonade Insurance? Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd be grateful if you can smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for future updates, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.